Good morning from Halifax.
Good morning, Halifax.
Nova Scotia.
Yep. And actually, we have company coming in. Yeah, another.
I think that's a Viking
cruise ship. Yeah. And I'm trying to read the name. Well, I think it's Explorer or something. What is it?
Maybe it's not Viking. The name is on the top of the smokestack, so when it gets closer.
We'll find out. I think it's Viking Explorer actually. So.
Maybe.
And good morning. We're here. We ended up with a sea day yesterday. It was rough weather. It was actually blowing up to 50 knots, just over 50 miles an hour. And some big seas, hit 11, 12. I loved it.
He thought it was the adventure at sea. He loved it.
I spent a lot of time in the water. I love it. So, yeah, it kept things interesting. We got some video on there. But today, still a breeze, a normal breeze, probably around 20. Yeah. It's cool, about 50. Nice. This is for October. We're up in Nova Scotia. Come on, it's awesome.
Yeah, so, definitely windbreaker weather.
We got a nice long excursion today. I'm going to be going all around. It's a shutterbug excursion, right?
Shutterbug.
That should be fun. So, come along, join us. We need you. Good to see you. And we'll just...
Hey, there goes the pilot to help the other ship.
Oh, okay, the little pilot boat. Here, I'll spin it around so we can get a better... Here he comes. It's a pilot, and it is the Explorer with an A.
Explorer 1.
1, so, yeah. Interesting. Nice ship. There you go.
I don't think it is Viking.
It says Explorer, and it says, I think it says it in both places. On the
it doesn't
up
seem
top.
to have the Viking insignia. I can't tell. I'm not.
I just see Explorer in both places. So there it is. All right. Little drizzle. We're walking on our way. There's Miss Nadia. We're all dressed like everyone, ready for our little trip. Nice little walkway set up. We'll be there in a minute. Pier 21.
Shutterbug's dream.
Yep.
Hopefully it's a dream.
Go on that too. I love the weather.
This is your Elliot. You're not gonna. You're not
If the
gonna.
rain stops, it's only a drizzle, but if it stops, it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
So this deck boat is just like one we have back in Boston. We'll have it in one of our other videos. And this is our line. So this is the Boardwalk. A little wet for Miss Nadia, so I'm gonna come along a little bit further. I haven't been here, I haven't seen it, and I'm sure some of you out there haven't seen it, so this is it. This is the Boardwalk, a little further. It is, it's a little wet, a little cold, but I don't mind too much. So I'm gonna see if I can reach that end down there before I go back. I only have a few minutes left before our tour continues. All right, well, I'm a lot closer now. I've run out of time. I have to head back. But this looks like there's definitely a section here where a ship would pull in and whatnot. There's some restaurants, there's some outdoor seating, there's a nice little area. It's actually built up pretty well in here. And I will quickly walk around and you'll see how far I am from where our ship is. There we are. Well, I have to walk it back now. And we will pick it up at our next stop. leaving the section. There's some nice statues here, a little park area. As I'm heading back, I'll see if I can get a quick explanation. Science for volunteers. Leave it there for a sec. Alright guys, so this is Shutterbug Stream, and on this tour, this bus is great. It has things for everything, even plugs, USB outlets, charge your phones, nice footrest. My seat even has a handle here to recline back, and then if you needed to put things in a little bag, so it's really got everything thought of. You know, we have the TV here, which they may or may not use, other controls. It's a very nice updated bus. We like this a lot.
Public Gardens. Wayne's gonna be in his glory.
Oh yeah, I'll do some touring for us here. Let's start with a little fountain.
Yeah.
A hurricane was here.
Hurricane Juan.
It's devastated, so they've rebuilt it. Check it out. In Bristol, Rhode Island, up there, I rebuilt one of those at the Herreshoff, Halsey Herreshoff building.
The cupola?
One of the last projects I did. So the public garden gate from the inside here, he is getting a nice close-up. There's a plaque over here with some description. I'll get a picture of that. This is the entrance. Very nice.
So this is the gardens. It has a wrought iron fence all around. It usually has a body of water. There's bridge, there's statuettes, there's a bandstand, and then there's a variety of different plantings from all over the world and regional as well. But they bring in some items that are different for educational purposes. This is a National Historic Site. We have 2 Victorian gardens in Canada. One is the Butchart Gardens out near Victoria, which costs money to get into, as you may have discovered if you went there. It's fantastic, very beautiful. Here, this is a public garden. Those gates are always open during the day. They close them at night, but those big gates right there, the only way they'll open is if you're royalty. If you're of royal blood, they open those gates. So the last time they were open when Prince Charles, before he was king, was in town.
I like this rose gardens, plantings, a little off season. I'm sure they had, he said a couple of weeks ago when I'm turning to here, had a bunch of plants.
So our Shutterbug Dream excursion did include about a half hour or so to spend at the Botanical Garden. And, you know, I'm not a big plant person. Dwayne is a huge plant person. But I really enjoyed this this garden. It was really beautiful. Let's face it, it was October. It's the end of the season. So some of the, you know, greatest things there were to see were already put away in greenhouses and such. Some of the stuff that was blooming even, you know, a month ago are now kind of, you know, gone for the season. It has a small little brook running through it. You can see a mallard duck right here in this shot, and you can see that brook kind of running through with a lot of greenery around it. The one thing I do want to say, you've probably already heard him, the guide on this excursion was excellent. The man who wore the kilt and told us all about Nova Scotia and told us all about Halifax, and the next part of our excursion would go to both the grave sites for the Titanic and the Peggys Cove area of Nova Scotia. So you can see the park is really well appointed, and it's very well cared for and very well tended. Really cute. And, you know, here's just a couple of the scenes. One thing I didn't realize is that this is a completely public garden. It is open 365 days a year. So here's a feel for what it's like.
So this tree was planted here by Queen Elizabeth's mother and father. And this, every year we decorate this up in different designs. So we had the North American Indigenous Games here this year in July. So we had 5,000 Indigenous athletes from all over Turtle Island, which is what they call North America. And so this is planted, that rail, they have a specially made ladder that they put out. And they
Do want to make note here that this tree was actually planted by Queen Elizabeth. So it was planted by her, and look how big it is now.
bloom. Oh, yeah. This was all full of flowers just 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
A week ago. So did everybody hear me back there? Yeah.
So we did continue strolling through the park, and he was actually really good because he would stop every so often and kind of update us on what we were looking at. What you can see here is one of the, I think, most interesting parts of the park. The dahlia, he called it dahlias, but different dahlias all planted, and some of them still blooming. I don't know much about flowers, but they had signage, and they had really beautiful flowers there. And we were actually allowed to walk onto the lawn. It's probably the only part where you could get this close to the dahlias, because I know we tended to stay on the walkways. You can see the walkways here that people are on. But no, the guide said, feel free to go right up to the dahlias, get as close as you want to, take as many photos and pictures as you want to. And it was quite a large space. I mean, they really had a lot of flowers planted here. You can see someone walking amongst the dahlias right there, like we all are. And a lot of these people were actually people that were also on our same tour bus. You can see the beautiful flowers. They were in all different colors. Oh, there's Dwayne taking his close-up shots of his flowers right there. I really liked this shaped conifer. It really looks really nice and very well trimmed. You can see the flowers there on the ground. They're in the shape of an E for Queen Elizabeth, and the fountain right behind it. The fountain is really nice too. There was some story of some significance when he was talking about it. You can see him there. I don't quite recall what that was, but this is the fountain that's in the middle of the park. The other thing is, he showed the grandstand, and apparently there are free concerts every week. Yep, there's the fountain again. And you saw the grandstand earlier, but I didn't realize that every week there is a free concert there. Not all year round, but I think during the late spring and through the summer. After leaving the public garden, we went up to Citadel Hill, which is where there is a fort that overlooks the harbor. Here's the view. That is the clock tower that has 4 clocks on it, so that you can see the time from every direction. That is not a mast, that is a flagpole. There's the flag of Canada. At the entrance to the Citadel, you can actually see an armed, I guess, military person dressed in a kilt. And every day, I think with the exception of Christmas, there is a noon cannon that goes off. Literally, a big, loud, filled with real gunpowder cannon that goes off, and we had the opportunity to hear it while we were there.
If there's anybody who feels like they're going to be a slow walker, please proceed. But we're just going to be walking up there. Just want to wait for the last.
I see it. Yep.
There's a little gap there, they say, for where the Titanic struck the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
So you just note that.
Okay. Oh.
So the White Star Line, they paid for this size of headstone. So each headstone, if they know who is, there's some unknown people on this side. Most of the people are known on this side. So there's the name. The date they died is assumed to be after midnight. It struck on April 14th, struck the iceberg, but the ship didn't go down until 2 in the morning. So they assumed everybody was after midnight. So April 15th, 1912. The number is the mortuary bag number that matched the body so that it could keep details of who they were. So they're not in order because as they were processed and they knew that they were going to stay here, they would be buried. So that's why the numbers are not in order. But there's a lot of people that use the information with those mortuary bags to try to discover. Even today, they're working on sleuthing to try to figure out who they are. And there's some people that have been found and named. So here the name is on the top. If somebody was buried as unknown and is now known, they'll have the name on the front. And there's an example of that over on that side. The extra money to have a different headstone. He was the personal valet of the chair of the White Star Line. And so on this, it's Edward Elliot of the Wilson. Number 4 was the unknown child for many, many years. And this baby was found without a life preserver on, laying with its arms out face up in the water. And the men that went out to sea, they were so moved by this little child that when they brought the baby back, they had a special service downtown at the St. George's Round Church. They marched the baby out to Dawson on a regular basis.
Oh my gosh.
So Jack Dawson, or Jay Dawson, is right down. Now there's usually something here at Jay's. Where is it? Thank you very much. There's Jay Dawson, right here.
And the last planned stop on this excursion was to part of Nova Scotia, about an hour from downtown Halifax, to Peggy's Cove. It is apparently a fishing village, and I think he said about 30 or 35 people live there year round. But people flock to visit because it is so quaint, it is so beautiful. The rock formations, the lighthouse, it's just, well, you can see it in front of you. You just feel at peace when you're here. The weather had cleared by the time we got to Peggy's Cove, and we just had the best time climbing all over the rocks, going up to and visiting the lighthouse.
I think he's gonna play, huh? Huh? He's gonna play. Videoing. Now put the camera down. I can't see your face. Down. Thank you.
And the place is pretty expansive for some place that's so cute in a fishing village with only a handful of people. The rock formations are huge. I mean, I kind of walked all over. I took pictures. It seems like every time you turned your head, there was another scenic spot. I loved how they had those chairs, those painted chairs, just facing the ocean. I would imagine that if it were warmer and maybe the summer, people would actually sit in those and just stare out at the sea and at the lighthouse and just the beauty of the area. But it was a little too windy for us to do that day. When you visit Peggys Cove, this is the last weekend of the season, basically, when Dwayne and I were there. So some of the businesses and some of the places to visit when you're there were closed. The place that was open was right behind where you actually can see Peggys Cove. It's a building that houses a large gift shop and also a sit-down restaurant where you can get seafood, things like lobster rolls and fish and chips, and it was very crowded on this day. I should say that the excursion does allow enough free time so that if we had wanted to go see some of the other shops and some of the other stores and little quaint areas to buy souvenirs, we would have had time to do that. So this was not one of those tours or excursions where you feel really rushed to get in and out of places. I found that this one was paced very well and gave us lots of time. You can see by how much footage we got here at Peggys Cove that we had all the time we needed, not just to get the beautiful videos and pictures that we wanted, but also to go and spend some time in the gift shop and do some shopping. The rock formations were formed from glaciers that apparently started to melt back and leave boulders behind. It is a little slippery, and we were warned not to walk on any rocks that seemed black, but most of the rock that you see here at Peggys Cove is actually granite. And of course, there is the lighthouse. It's probably one of the most photographed lighthouses in Canada, and this is probably one of the most picturesque areas of Canada, and I hope the video does it justice because it was really my favorite part of the entire day.
No, this is the lighthouse by Peggys Cove. Here I am. Hey everyone. Yeah, it's beautiful out here today. Crisp, cold. I love it. I'm just spinning around, so you'll be able to see the waves starting to crash in. I get some recording time for you. Really nice. Definitely. Haven't been to a spot like this in many years. It's good to be back. So, rocks like these are dropped here, they're deposited, they say, when the ice sheets slip back. So the rocks get moved and kind of drop, just like, pebbles, giant pebbles. And they land randomly, and sometimes they stack and balance. But they do, they just end up all here. No one has to move them or take any time to get them in this place. And some of them are quite big, as you can see that guy walking by one. It's pretty amazing. So when the glaciers retreated, this is what was left behind, and someone built a nice lighthouse to keep the ships from crashing into these massive pieces of granite.
And to end our day, we had dinner at Kagney's, one of the specialty restaurants on the Norwegian Pearl. Actually, I believe there's probably a Kagney's on every Norwegian ship at this point. I didn't want to do a full review because I believe we did a full review of Kagney's on other cruise tours, cruise videos, excuse me. But I'm just showing you what we ordered. I had the shrimp cocktail. Dwayne had the oysters. I also had a Caesar salad, and then I got a filet for dinner. And I believe Dwayne got the strip, but he also had some of the French onion soup. Here's just a view. I believe that's my filet. Yep, that's my filet. I got the petite filet, so it's pretty small, and I had already started eating it, but it was really, really perfectly medium rare, and they did a great job. And Dwayne's New York strip. And for sides, I believe he got some eggplant and some broccoli, and I got some mushrooms and a baked potato. As always, dinner at Kagney's is great. I would highly recommend it. I really love the atmosphere and the ambiance, and the wine service is exceptional. It is an upcharge, but if you do have the dining package, it's included and you can order whatever you like. There is also an upcharge on the menu if you would like to add lobster to any of the meals. And we got dessert. Here's our dessert. We did taste test these.
Almost like a muffin. Wow, it's filled with fresh apples.
Well, that's good. Let's see.
Let me pick it up for you.
No milk. Very nice. Try it out. Let's try it.
Wow.
It's great, right?
It's like a fresh baked apple.
I'll be back in a coffee.
Very good.
Loving it.
With fresh sugar, cinnamon, spice, apple pie spice. There's absolutely no saucy, gelatinous. You know how there is with the baked pies?
Oh, no,
It's
that's,
just
they just
plain-
made that nice little
it's just
pie. Here, I'll
plain
come take a
apple.
look. There we go. There it is. It's beautiful. Just like mine. Mine's that blueberry
It
crisp.
tastes like they sliced the apple and just put it into
They do
this
a great job
delicious
of it.
crust today.
And of course, what goes better with pie than
And a martini.
A martini.
With absolutely no olives and
Well, it had the
Rice.
olives. I'll probably eat the olives.
yeah. Oatmeal and hot blueberry
Blueberry oatmeal
crisp.
That's what it is. Tart, sweet, crunchy, crisp. Perfect.